Welcome to our Blackboard Ultra Lunch and Learn, brought to you by Sight, Learn AU, and Ashland. Let's jump right into it and discover how we can embed YouTube videos and Kaltura videos into our Blackboard Ultra course. I'm going to send it over to Katy Major, a fellow instructional designer at Learn AU, and she'll show us how we can embed those videos in this new course format in Blackboard Ultra. So hello, Katy.
Hi there. Let's go over a couple of features that you may already have used in Blackboard Learn, but may not have yet used in Blackboard Ultra. This is just my sandbox course, but for these purposes, I've set it up similarly to a composition course. So typically what you would see here are module folders. I don't have those since that's just a sandbox, but you might place videos within a module to tell students just when they should view them. However, for this example, I'm just going to hit this plus sign to add an item to my Ultra course. And from there, I hit the plus sign for create. When I see this option, what I want to do is choose document, which offers me many options. Click add content, and the text box will pull up here. And from this text box, that's where you want to add your video. So for instance, I want to add a YouTube video to my course. If I select that option, I get this pop-up where I can either search for a video that I might like to post, or I can copy and paste a link to a YouTube video I already like, such as this video on writing as activism with Steve Almond. And then I can paste that link here, click search, and select that video. You get a couple of options here. I prefer to show the content in line. That means it's integrated smoothly with the rest of your module list. You can also just include a link which students can follow to the YouTube site in order to watch the video. So click insert. Beautiful. So now my document is populated by a video. Oops. And I deleted it promptly. So I just want to remove some of that extra spacing. Beautiful. And then click save. So great, there's my video. If I was going to assign this video, I might write a little bit more text, such as I could title it up here, watch as activism. That's the case for any content item that you add. You can always edit the title by clicking on it like that. And there you have it. When you're done, you can X out. And there's my item, okay? So there's my YouTube video. As always, Ultra will automatically set items to be hidden from students, so make sure that you see the eyeball icon indicating that students can see what you posted.
Thank you so much, Katy. I loved how nice and simple that looked when Katy put in that YouTube video. All right, so I think she has one more to go, so I'm going to throw it back to Katy so she can show us how we can put in Kaltura videos. Katy, it's all yours.
Another type of video that you've probably used in your course is a video from Kaltura, where we store all of our sort of recorded lectures and sometimes other videos that we like to include in our courses. So once again, I'm going to navigate to create and use this same document area. Then I'll select add content again, right? Looking familiar? And then I'll select insert content. And from here, I can click on content market. And content market gives me a complete view of all third-party tools, including Kaltura. So the Kaltura embed is the option I'll select now. Let's say I want to place just a standard lecture video into my composition course. So I would select the correct video. I would click embed. And then, maybe I want to name it. Okay, and as always, it takes just a second to load, but you will see that video populate. And once again, I can revise the title up here by clicking on it. See how this pencil item pops up? You just click there. Or I can add text to the box to explain maybe what I want my students to do with this video, maybe to post any questions I want them to answer about it, all that good stuff. So again, when I click save, I find that when I return to that main area where my content items are, this says new document because I didn't rename it, but this is it. If I click on it, I see my Kaltura video. Okay. There are a couple of other third-party tools that are pretty common, or at least that LearnAU likes to incorporate in its instructional design. So I want to go back to that content collection area and just walk you through a couple more things. So again, you have this step down by now, I'm sure, but click that plus sign and select create. Next up, you guessed it, document. And of course, this top add content button. Again, we navigate to insert content with the plus sign icon and scroll down to content market. Okay, so the content market, as you can see at the top, it includes different textbook companies, which you might select if you wanted to use publisher materials in your course. We went over Kaltura Embed. Right next to Kaltura, you have H5P. And H5P is a tool that's commonly used to include sort of extra knowledge checks for students. So if I select add content, gotta give it a second to load, but you see a menu of options pops up. And I'm not gonna go through every one, but please feel free to contact LearnAU if you wanna talk about this some more, because we do use this feature fairly often. Just as one example, you can create a fill in the blank worksheet. So if you want students to apply some new vocabulary, that's something you could add as a knowledge check that maybe wouldn't be an assessment that's worth points, but would help students to assess where they are in their progress. So I'll hit cancel because I'm not going to insert anything like that right now. And again, to go back, you just hit that X. So now I'm back in that content market.
Thanks again, Katie. So it looks like that content market is where we find course tools like the Kaltura Embed. And in there, I also saw 5HP and Perusal in that content market area. So kind of think of it as our course tools area. So any type of third-party item we want to put into our course, whether it's a Kaltura Embed, the 5HP, Perusal, and so on, let's take a look in that content market area. So hit that plus sign, go to content market, and maybe add that in if you want to add some type of third-party item into your course. So thank you again, Katie. I really appreciate it. So Katie shared some great tried and true methods of inputting video. We did that in Blackboard Learn. We can do that in Blackboard Ultra, although a little bit different way, but it's the same thing, and hopefully it's not too difficult to input those items in there. I want to pivot a little bit and take advantage of a new feature called Class Conversations. Think of class conversations like a discussion board for that particular content item. Whether it's in an assignment, it's a document, or even a quiz or test, we can have a mini discussion board where students and you can discuss items, offer guidance, ask questions, answer questions about that particular content item. So it's kind of nice because it's in that particular content item only. It doesn't appear in the discussion board area, and it doesn't count for a grade. It's there if you want to enable it. So let's take a look and figure out how we can input class conversations if we want to. So let's dive right in. All right, I'm going to jump into the Blackboard Help Center, and what we'll do is we'll put this link down in the description so you can follow along too. So I think it'd be nice to have this in video format, but also if you want to read through it or print this out, you want to go to the Blackboard Help Center. So the Help Center has this page about class conversations, and I'm going to jump down here a little bit and zoom in just a little bit so we can get the full screen effect for conversations. So remember, class conversations happen on a particular item. In this case, it's going to be this assignment content here on the screen. So when you go into your assignment, on the right-hand side, you're going to see this settings icon. It's this little gear. And when you click on that little gear, you'll have an option to add the due date, but underneath the due date, whether it's the date and the time, you'll see a checkbox called allow class conversations. You can check it to enable it, or you can check it to disable it. If we click on it to enable it, you'll see it turns green. And what will happen is you'll be able to add this kind of taskbar that comes out and promotes this conversation on that particular item. Remember, students can ask questions, they can answer questions, maybe seek guidance, help each other out, and you can dive in there too and help them out with a particular question on this assignment. When someone contributes to a conversation, an icon appears next to the item's title. So you'll see this little icon that appears, and that lets you know, let students know that there is conversation happening on that particular content item. In this case, again, the assignment. What you can do is you can click on the top. So say if you're a student or you're in the instructor and you go to the course and you go to this assignment content area, you'll notice this little class conversation, this little looks like a person, a stick figure with the speech balloon. If you click on that item, it will open up that class conversation. Now a purple circle appears with that icon. You can kind of see it here, the little tiny purple circle that indicates new activity has happened. So if you're a student or you're the instructor and you've gone in there and you checked out some questions, maybe you answered some questions and you sign out, and tomorrow you come back in, you might see a purple dot because there's new conversation happening. Maybe someone asked a question, someone followed up with an answer, and that little purple dot now allows you to see, hey, something else is new in that class conversation. I'm going to scroll down here to this layer just so you can see what is involved in a class conversation. So you'll see this A, B, C, D, E, and F right here. So when you look at it, you're going to say A is, what do you want to say? So this is where you click in the response. So students or yourself can go into the response area, type in your message, and you can send it. Now you can send it, or if you need time to think about it, you can click that where it says B, that's the save the draft. So if you're typing out a pretty decent response and you don't want to lose your work by accidentally closing the tab or the internet goes out or something crazy happens in your browser, click that save draft, and that way when you're typing on a paragraph or two, you can save that draft and you don't lose all the stuff that you've written. So B is save a draft. You can start a response, save it as a draft, and you can finish it later. Let's move down. Let's go to C. C is what's new. So you can see the new stuff appearing at the top. So new responses, new replies appear with a new icon. So you'll see that little purple dot and NEW all in capital letters. That's how you know there's something new happening. And you can kind of see it down here in the Cooper response. You can see that purple dot with new there too as well. So as you go through and you look at Durand, you look at Cooper's replies, you see Donovan, there's new, new, and new. So you know there's new conversation happening in a couple of different places. Let's jump over to D, and D is edit and delete contributions. So D allows you as instructor to edit and delete your own messages or students' messages. So if you incorrectly put something down, you can edit the message, or if you just want to delete a message, you made a post by accident, you can hit delete. On the student's end, the students can only delete their own message. They can't edit their messages. So from the student point of view, they can have those three dots, they can click on it, and they can delete their own message. Let's go to E. So E is going to be here at the top right. That's the Find Participants screen, so you can view activity and search for participants. So if you're looking for someone in particular, maybe there's a lot of great discussion happening or conversation happening, you can maybe pinpoint a certain person, type in David or type in Grimes, and you'll see that person in there. In this case, you might type in Cooper or Donovan and look up Michael Donovan's responses and replies. F is refresh your view. Sometimes when you're jumping into the conversation, you might be in there putting in feedback and so on. You can click on that refresh button, and that will refresh the conversation. In case students are in there today and they're updating responses right now, you click refresh before you sign out. Make sure nothing new came up before you got finished. So that is what your class conversation screen will look like for you and your students. So it's kind of a nice, again, looks like a mini discussion board. You have your response, you can save the draft, you can click respond, and you see the responses underneath with that new indicator for anything that's happened new since the last time you looked. All right, that should do it. Hopefully you found some cool information in there, whether it's about embedding YouTube videos, put it in a Kaltura embed, or maybe you saw something in that content market library where you go, okay, that's where I want to put something in, whether it's a perusal or 5HP, for example. Or maybe you saw class conversations and you thought that might be a great idea and try it out. So this is the end of the third Lunch and Learn. Hopefully you join us back for the fourth and final Lunch and Learn, where we can dive right in and get into the nitty-gritty and look at even some more advanced features in Blackboard Ultra. So thank you very much. Thank you, Katie, and we'll see you at the next Lunch and Learn.